Alright guys, we're now going to look at the problem that was given yesterday, and we're asked to solve 2x squared minus 5x minus 3 equals 0 using the factorization method. Now again, we know it's a quadratic equation because the highest index of the unknown, in this case the unknown, is x. The highest index is 2, there is no index higher than 2, and there is no negative index. So we know it's a quadratic equation. So in solving this problem, we're going to write the equation, and again, before you proceed, always check to see if it is in this form: ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. I've seen videos of persons putting minus here. That is incorrect. This is the general form. As to why you guys would change that, I don't know. So ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0 is the general form of a quadratic equation. And if you look here, you can see that it is looking like here. So we can easily determine the value of a, which in this case is positive 2. The value of b is negative 5. Watch the signs. And the value of c is negative 3. Now, again, we're factorizing. We're solving this quadratic equation by factorization method. So again, we're just going to focus on what b is, which is minus 5. And then focus on AC, which means a times c. In this case, a is 2 and c is minus 3. So 2 times minus 3 gives us negative 6. So what I'm going to do now is write the factors of 6, because in solving this equation using factorization method, it's all about being able to break up this middle piece using two specific terms that will give you negative 5x. You can't just willy-nilly just write any two. It has to be two specific terms. So the factors of 6, 1 times 6 is 6, 2 times 3 is 6, and of course 3 times 2 would give you back that. So all the factors of 6 are 1, 2, 3, and 6. So we're looking at a combination now. So bearing in mind the signs that are involved. So the question is this: which two numbers, when added together, gives you negative 5, and when you multiply them, you are going to get negative 6. So if you look carefully here, you realize that negative 6 and positive 1 would do that, because when you add negative 1, when you add positive 1, to negative 6, you're going to get negative 5. And when you multiply positive 1 by negative 6, you're going to get negative 6. So the two numbers we're looking for are positive 1 and negative 6. So we know exactly how to split that. So I'm going to slide this over so we can use it as a reference as we proceed with the solution to this question. So coming back here, instead of writing that now, I'm going to write it with the two split numbers. Of course, it's going to be positive 1x and negative 6x. So it will be 2x squared minus 6x plus x, or 1x, and then minus 3 equals 0. Remember, you're solving an equation, so equals 0 must be followed there, and it must only be 0 on the right hand side. So by the way, if you had put 1x here and then minus 6x here, it's fine, all right, as long as you factorize correctly. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 terms, and we're now going to proceed to factorize by grouping. So what would be common in these two terms here? That simply would be 2x. And remember, don't put any equal sign here because you're solving an equation and there's an equal sign present already. So if you look at these two terms here, 2x would be the highest common factor, so we can factor that out. And then 2x times x gives you back 2x squared, and 2x times minus 3 gives you back minus 6x. Here, if you look closer, you'll see that the highest common factor is positive 1, and in bracket x minus 3, because positive 1 times x does in fact give me back positive 1x, and positive 1 times negative 3 is going to give me back negative 3. And how do I know that I'm on the right track? Because I have the exact same thing in the two brackets here. So in wrapping up, in one bracket we have 2x plus 1, and in the other bracket we have x minus 3. So now we have a situation where we have one bracket multiplying another bracket, and what is in a bracket, in each bracket? Numbers, all right? Because remember, we're solving for x, so x is a number, so this ultimately works out to be a number, And this is going to work out to be a number as well. So the situation is this: a number times another number is going to give us 0. A number times another number is going to give us 0. So it means either one of the numbers is 0 or both numbers are 0. Because when you multiply them, you get 0 as the answer. So either this is 0 or this is 0 or both is 0. And since we're not so sure, we're going to equate both of them to 0 and then solve for each. So when 2x plus 1 equals 0 and when x minus 3 equals 0. So let's come here. We're going to solve for x here. So 2x, you carry over the positive one, it becomes negative. 0 was on this side, so the negative is going to prevail. And then x is going to be equal to negative 1 over 2, which is negative a half. And in this particular case, x is equal to the negative goes over, it becomes positive 3. So now we have the two answers for the quadratic equation, or we have the two answers for the variable, and in this case the variable is x. So we have just solved the quadratic equation 2x squared minus 5x minus 3 equals 0 using the factorization method. And we ended up with two answers, one being x is equal to negative a half, and the value of x is also 3. And as I said before, if you plug in each of these inside here, you'll see that the left-hand side is going to be equal to 0, which means that these two values of x would satisfy that equation. So we've answered it, and I hope you guys found this video insightful, and I'll see you guys on the next video.